Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for joining me today. Today I will be going over my second update for my Pan Those Eyeshadow Palettes series. This is a hybrid project between Pan Those Eyeshadows and Pan That Palette, started respectively by Alexi and Amber F here on YouTube. I will have them linked down in the description box so you can go check out their content, and let's hop right into this update. Here is the quintet I was working on last month. I'll start with giving you updates on each individual palette, then I will go over whatever shades will be rolling in, and then at the end I will insert some photos from the month of my looks and then comparison photos of the palettes from last month to this month. Now if you are new to this project, I am working on 3 palettes this year. I'm working on my Lorac Pro 2 and my Lorac Pro Matte, and I'm looking to empty those. And then I am working on my ABH Soft Glam palette, and I'm just trying to hit pan in every shade in that palette. So this is just a fun way for me to work on those goals and try to get 2 palettes out of my collection and get lots of love on one of my newer palettes. I will have the playlist for this project listed down below in the description and linked up above. So if you're interested and you've missed the introduction and the first update, you can find them there. So let's go ahead and hop right into the update. I've got my laptop over here with all my notes and pictures of last month's progress so that I can refer to it and give you accurate numbers and everything like that. So we're gonna start in the same order that we are gonna go all project long, starting with the Lorac Pro Matte. Last month I was working on the shade Linen, and here is what the palette looked like last month. And here is what it's looking like now. So I'm pretty happy with the progress that I've made. As you can see, there's not a ton of difference between last month and this month. I was only working on these 3 shades. And as you can see, I did finish up Linen, which is goal met, which is pretty exciting. And then I have made a lot of progress on Bare, and I've officially hit pan in Pink Mauve. So I'll go ahead and give you the statistics on that. Since I didn't use Latte, Corduroy, Chocolate, Burgundy, or Jet Black, I won't be giving you any updates on those because I didn't use them any at all. For Linen, I used it a total of 17 times this month for a total of 54 uses before I got it emptied. So that I feel is a pretty good gauge for me with Bare, because when I started out last month, I was about at the starting point of Linen. So I think that means that I'll probably have another 40 to 50 uses on it before I hit pan or before I empty it out. So that's kind of helpful to gauge the difference. I am taking some lessons that I learned from working on Linen, and I'm trying to work towards this side right now, leaving a decent amount on this side so that when this side is empty, I have plenty on this side to scrape up, because I kind of just wore this down until it was very narrow all the way around, and then it was really difficult to get any product up. So I'm going to try to be a little smarter as I work through Bare. My brush is just really big, so it's easy to just kind of like swirl it in the middle, grab a lot of product and put it on, but I'm trying to learn and to work to the side. So I don't have individual usage on Bare just because I forgot to separate progress from last month to this month. But currently I have used this shade 64 times since the beginning of this project. I have been tracking all use of all shades that I've been using individually, but if it's outside of my quintet, I don't have numbers for each month. It's just a total number. So this one I've used a total of 64 times. I started using Pink Mauve once I finished up the shade Nectar for my Pro 2 palette. And so this one I have used 23 times. I did hit pan on it just a few days ago after the 21st use. I'm really liking this as a blush. I do have it on today as a blush. I think I like this one better on me than the Nectar shade, which even that one I liked a lot as a blush. I find that I'm not a huge fan of just pink eye looks. If I'm gonna do a more pinky toned eye look, I also wanna have some sort of neutral brown tone to kind of balance it out. I don't like it when it's just like the pink shade in the crease. So I haven't been using this in the crease at all. I've just been using it as a blush shade for now. I might, depending on what shades get rolled in this next month, I might use it in the crease as well, but for now it's just been as a blush. I think next month I will have Bare and Pink Mauve done. I don't foresee having any of these other ones done, just depending on what gets rolled in. Maybe I'll have pan or have a good amount of progress on one of them. I did change up my rules a little bit for rolling in, which I'll explain to you when it's time to roll in a new shade. But yeah, that's the progress for the Pro Matte palette. Pretty straightforward, pretty simple. Like I said, I just use the 3 shades, so there's not a whole lot to update you on here. My big goals for next month is emptying Bare and Pink Mauve, which would be pretty exciting because then I would have 3 of the 8 shades completely finished. My next palette is the Lorac Pro 2 palette, and I will go ahead and put up a picture of what the progress looked like last month. And here is what it's looking like this month. Now, you can probably see I am very close to some goals on this palette. I did not hit all the goals that I had wanted to. I was really hoping to have finished light brown and beige as well as nectar, but I just finished up nectar pretty quickly in the month. I think it was the 4th of the month, so that was just a couple of extra days. And then I've gotten, I think I'm like within 2 days of finishing up light brown. So that's a little disappointing just because I know I'm so close. But it's almost empty, which is really exciting. That's gonna be crazy because I will have then 3 shades finished up in here. I know beige is gonna take a little bit longer, but I think I can have it finished up this month. I did start using it as a highlight shade. Emily commented reminding me to do that, so thank you, Emily. I have used this in the past as a highlight shade, and I don't know how I forgot it worked really well for me. So I've started using it that way. I did use it a decent amount of times that way, but this formula, I don't understand why, but I use less of snow and get about the same amount of progress on it as I do with beige. And I use like a ton of beige, and it just seems to never go anywhere. So I don't know if it's just the way, this one must just be chunkier. But yeah, I feel like beige I'm gonna be able to get done this next month using it as a highlight shade as well. And then light brown will be gone. And then we'll see what else I can get use on. But currently I feel like I'll get both of those gone this next month. So let's talk about numbers. I did only use this half of the palette. I have not touched this half of the palette at all yet. We'll get there eventually, but right now we're just on this first half of the palette. Since I hadn't officially finished nectar, I'll give you the final count on usage of that. I used it 39 total times to get it used up, and so I'm pretty excited about that. That helps me kind of know that I'll probably be somewhere around the 40 to 50 usage mark for Pink Mauve in the Pro Matte palette. So that's kind of nice to know. I didn't have pan on that before, whereas on this one I did, but it wasn't very much pan. So that kind of helps me know I'll probably have 10 to 15 more uses on that shade than I did on this one. Now I'll go ahead and let you know I had beige and cool gray in my quintet. So I'll go ahead and talk about those real fast. Beige I used a total of 27 times this month, and I also used cool gray a total of 27 times this month. Now, I was hoping to get beige done. Didn't happen. Hopefully I'll get it done next month. Clearly that means I'm not rolling in another shade in this palette, but I think I can get beige done. Cool gray is going to take me a while though. You can see I made pretty good progress. I really did expand the pan pretty well, and I've been working my way down towards this side. I'm hoping to hit side pan down there. I think, seeing how far I've gotten with it, I'm thinking that I will probably need another 2 to 3 months with this shade if I'm using it the same way I have been. I have been using it primarily in the outer corner of my eye to deepen it up, and then a little bit on the lower lash line as well. And I do like it that way. I think I'm gonna have to find some more unique and high usage ways to actually make some really steady, fast progress on it. Otherwise, I think it will take me a full 3 extra months to get it done. But I'm hopeful that maybe if I start using it, using more of the product at a time, and just like using it more prevalently in my looks, hopefully I'll be closer to the 2-month mark, rather than going into a third. Well, it would be a 4th month with it in. So I have used beige a total of 62 times up to this point, and cool gray was just introduced last month, so it's only been a total of 27 times. Now for the shades that I dipped into, that I just have a total usage on, we'll start with light brown because it's the closest. That one I have used a total of 62 times. So yeah, I will have that one done next month. I will make sure it's completed next month. Moving on down to Snow. I used that 62 times as well. This one I'm just trying to use in conjunction with beige because I like it to lighten it up and make it a little bit better of a highlight shade. Now I haven't been using it on the cheekbone because I feel like it's a little too intense for the cheekbone. I've just been using it as an inner corner highlight, and that works really, really well for me. I don't know what I'm gonna do once beige is gone because I do think I'm gonna have this a while longer after beige is gone. Maybe I can mix it with the rosé shade and it might work okay in the inner corner. I'm not sure, we'll find out. I might just have to suck it up and use it on the cheekbone and see how I like it. But yeah, I have used this 62 times. I'm thinking another probably 40 to 50 times before it'll be gone. Next, I used rosé a total of 21 times this last month. I didn't use it at all in January, so I've used it 21 times in February. I really do like this shade. I've been mixing it in with beige a little bit every now and then to put on the lid. Sometimes I just use it on the lid on its own. It looked really beautiful with Sultry from my Soft Glam palette, and I really liked that combination. It looked very, very nice. Popping against the glitters in the Sultry shade. So I used that one a total of 21 times. I did expand the pan a decent amount. I'm pretty happy with the change in the pan size. Now the last shade I used in this palette was Mocha, and I used that a total of 3 times. It's not very much. It expanded the pan just a hair. You can tell that there's a little bit of a difference. I just used it to deepen up a couple of times, and I do like this shade. I just feel like I don't need it very often with cool gray, so I tested it out. I tried to work it in a little bit because I wanted to make sure I wasn't just using a few shades. I wanted to try to expand my usage. Next month, hopefully I can dive into these shades as well. But yeah, so this month, only progress on this side of the palette. Hopefully next month we can dive into the other side a little bit, get at least a little bit going down there. But my primary goals for this next month is to finish light brown, finish beige, get really good progress on Snow and cool gray and rosé, I think. I think I'd like to see some side pan in rosé as well as in cool gray. So we won't be rolling a shade in for the Pro 2 palette, but we will be rolling some other shades in. So I'll go ahead and show you the progress for my last palette, my Anastasia Beverly Hills Soft Glam palette from last month. And here it is for this month. This is what it's looking like now. So I was working on the shades Sultry and Noir, and I hope you can see, I know you can see pan and Sultry because I got a pretty good size pan there. But I have a small little baby pan in Noir. So I did hit my goal on both of these shades. Which is very exciting. I was super excited to hit 2 more goals in this palette. Yeah, as it stands, if I keep up at this progress, I will hit pan in 2 shades a month, maybe more if I continue to dive into the other shades a bit more and get some use on them. Now I did stick to pretty much exclusively using sultry and noir this month. I didn't dive into pretty much any other area of the palette except for once or twice. So I'll focus on those, and then I'll throw in I think it was only 3 other shades that I used, but I'll just run over the totals for everything. So sultry, I used a total of 16 times. I hit pan on the 15th use, which is pretty crazy to me. I'm really kind of surprised. It was a much more loose formula than glistening was, and I used this end of the Anastasia brush to kind of tap in there, and then I would use it on either the center or all over my lid. I would sometimes use it on the outer corner. I used it pretty much every single day for the first half of the month. Until I hit pan on it, and then I used it that one more time just to expand the pan a little bit, make it a little bit fuller. I did really enjoy the shade. I got a bit tired of it because it was every single day and it made almost every look exactly the same. But all in all, it was really beautiful. I really enjoyed getting to know that shade more because I had hardly used it prior to rolling it into this project. So it was nice to get to know the shade and to learn that I actually really, really like it. Then Noir, I used a total of 26 times, and I hit pan on it on the 23rd use. So I used it a few more times than just hitting pan to try to expand the pan, as well as just because when I do my black liner, I always go over it with a black eyeshadow. So I just decided to continue to expand the pan in this one. Used it a total of 26 times. Like I said, it's a very small baby pan. You can hardly tell it's there, but it is there. So it is goal met. Now the other shades that I've used in this palette since the beginning of the project are Fairy, which I've used a total of 3 times. I think I only used it once this month. Burnt Orange, which I didn't use it all this month, but I did use it 3 times in January. Rustic, I've used 4 times. I used it today and then 3 times in January. And then Cypress Umber, I used today for a total of 1 time. So I haven't really dived into the top half of this much, but I have been using these shades down here. Hopefully this next month, maybe I'll get some more interesting colors. Maybe the more pink tones, so I can dive into a new sort of style of my makeup, because I've kind of been just hanging around with the brown tones since that's what I've been working on, that light brown shade, and that's what's worked out so far. But we'll see what I can get this next month, see if I can come up with some more creative looks. Okay, so there are the palette updates. So now we are entering into the roll-in phase. Like I said before, I did update my rolls a little bit. So last month I decided I don't want to roll in any more cream shades or black shades because I know I have to use them. I'm going to be using them no matter what. I want to just work through Bare, and then once Bare is done, I'll move on to Tempera, because the Pro 2 palette doesn't have one anymore. This only has 1 left, and then there's just Tempera in the Soft Glam palette. So I'm just gonna work on finishing this one first, then move on to that one. And then I don't wanna roll a black shade in because I'd rather work on this one first and then move on to my Pro 2 palette black, since now I have pan in the Soft Glam Noir. So I won't be rolling in any more shades that are Bare or black. I've removed those numbers from my list so I can't randomize them in. But otherwise, everything has stayed the same. I won't ever work on 2 shades that are exactly the same or basically the same. So for example, today I have the opportunity in the Pro Matte and Soft Glam palette of rolling in these burgundy wine toned shades. I really don't want to work on both at the same time. So if I were to roll those shades in at the same time, I would just re-roll for the second shade. And yeah, so it's pretty much the same. I just wanted to update you on those since I'm gonna be using them anyways, and I just wanna work through them at a steady pace rather than hopping between them just because they got randomly selected in. But enough blabbering, let's go ahead and roll a new shade in for my Lorac Pro Matte palette. and then 2 new shades in for my ABH Soft Glam palette. So because I have removed 2 shades from the selection process, I am now at shades 1 through 5 for my Pro Matte palette, and I'm using my computer to randomize since I film on my phone. So hopefully you can see that pretty well. We've got 1 through 5, and we're gonna randomize one number, and it's shade 3. I think that is, yep, that is the shade Chocolate. So it is this matte brown. So I'm not exactly sure how I'm gonna use this one, just because I wouldn't use it as a liner too often. I could use it in my brow. It's a bit deep for what I like. I don't like a super heavy brow, but I could use it in my brows. I can use it to deepen up the outer corner. All right, so there is swatched. I feel like it's a really nice neutral toned brown because it's still a little bit warm, but it's not so warm that you couldn't pair it with cool tones. It's nice right in the middle, where you can put it warm or cool and it kind of changes the way it looks. I do like this shade. Hopefully, you can see I have a decent dip there. I don't think I'm gonna get through this quickly by any means. It's probably gonna take me probably a good 3 to 4 months to get through, just depending on the ways I can use it, how much I can use it. But yeah, I do like this shade. We'll see what shades get rolled in with the Soft Glam palette to see how it pairs. I'm gonna go ahead and add the Pro 2 shades that I'm working on. So I'll add Cool Gray and Beige. Beige is getting real hard to swatch, so you can hardly see it there. But yeah, so we've got Chocolate, Cool Gray, and Beige added on. And now we will find out what's gonna be added with our Soft Glam palette. Okay, so since I have no shades to roll in from the Lorac Pro 2 palette, we're skipping a huge chunk of numbers, and then we're moving on down to the Soft Glam palette, which are numbers 17 through 25, now that I've removed Tempera from the list. So we're gonna select 2 shades. We got 17 through 25, and we're gonna go ahead and generate 1, 19, and 17. Okay. Okay. So the 2 shades that we picked were 17 and 19. So we'll go ahead, you know what, I rolled 19 first. So we'll go ahead and start with 19. So that shade is Bronze. I really like this shade. I haven't gotten to use it a ton. As you can see, it's pretty flat. But every time I use it, I'm always amazed with how beautiful it is. So that right there is the shade Bronze. I love it. It's so pretty. I have no idea how it's gonna pair with Cool Gray. I don't know if it's gonna pair with Cool Gray. I might have to just find a unique way to use Cool Gray from here on out. Maybe I'll just have to do a couple of different looks. But I do love Bronze. It's so beautiful. It has like so much dimension in it. Hopefully we can do what we did with Sultry and take it from basically flat to pan in a month, but we'll see. So then the next shade is shade 17, which is Orange Soda. All right, so there is Orange Soda right there. Again, I don't really know that that's gonna work very well with Cool Gray, but it will work well with Chocolate, and I think Beige will be fine with it. So I don't know if I'll be able to hit pan on that. It is a matte, and while I did hit pan pretty quick on Sienna and Noir, those I was able to use like a more targeted brush with it, whereas Orange Soda I feel like it's more of like a crease shade. I don't know, maybe I can use it on the lid pretty well. We'll find out. I'm gonna give it some test. Again, I haven't used that one very much at all. I haven't used it at all in this project, I don't think. Yeah, I don't think I've used it once during this project, so I don't know. I don't know how quickly I'll hit pan on it. I think this is kind of a unique color story. Yeah, I'm a little nervous about that Cool Gray mixing in with the rest, but otherwise I think that'll make a really pretty look all together. So yeah, as you can see, there's like no usage on Orange Soda. It's very light. We'll just give it a go, see what we can do. And then I will catch back with you at the beginning of April with an update. We'll see how we do on these 5 shades. Hopefully we do really well. One last time I'll run over them with you. This is the chocolate from the Lorac Pro Matte, cool gray and beige from Lorac Pro 2, and then bronze and orange soda from the ABH Soft Glam palette. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, feel free to give it a like. And if you'd like to see the looks that I did from last month, I will have them inserted here at the end, along with the full compilation of start to finish what the palettes have looked like, as well as my quintets for January, February, and this month all together. I hope you have a wonderful day wherever you are, and I will see you in the next one. Bye. Thank you.